What's up YouTube, ODST General back again, and today I have a project I am very excited to talk to you guys about. It is a Stargate Arma 3 project. Now before I get going, this is not the first Stargate project for Arma, or even Arma 3 for that matter. And while the ones for Arma 2 and Operation Flashpoint made a lot more progress and they had pretty much everything in, the Arma 3 one had ended up falling flat. And I did play a little bit with the Arma 2 version, I want to say, when that was out. And it was pretty cool, but it felt like it could use some work. But this is a franchise I'm really big fan of. I was really disappointed when the show got canceled. And it's appropriate to talk about this right now because if you guys don't know, the Stargate movie that was going to be put out was like a remake. Just got put in development hell, which means that it's not been officially canceled by the studio, but you know, there's nothing happening on it. So let's go ahead and talk about this some. Obviously, you guys are seeing video right now. If you guys are familiar with Stargates, you see the MALP here, which is, you know, a unmanned vehicle. You've got the Death Glider, which is a Goa'uld. That's the aliens, or at least one of the aliens from Stargate. That's their fighter craft, which operates kind of like a VTOL fighter craft-like vehicle, sort of like the Pelican, but a little bit more natural. It's not like going from like helicopter mode to like thruster mode, where you're going 600 miles an hour. And then, you know, the final thing is taken from Jack O'Neill's channel, is what his name is, at least on the Discord channel. He's got one where he's synced up audio from the TV show into the game, so that it looks like the guy in front of you talking looks and sounds like Jack O'Neill. And then we've got some pictures that will be coming up, you know, and kind of talking about here. Sorry guys, I just want to check the time frame where I have to start talking about the pictures. So anyways, like I said, I'm very excited about this project, but it is super early in development. The fact is, it's actually only just kind of getting started. It's actually been started a few months ago, but they haven't actually really completed anything yet. They're just kind of nearing completion of, I think it was the MALP was probably going to be the first thing. I think that's at like 83% completed. As you guys can see, it's in the game, though it's textured in-game and all this stuff. Now, parts of the development team have actually worked on this Stargate mod prior. At least one guy has. He's worked on the previous versions. And some of the new dev team is, you know, just starting work on this one. So I think right now they've probably got 2 or 3 people, if I'm correct, maybe 4, depending on how you count like members of the dev team, because I feel like some of these guys are helping with development of the mod, but are like not part of the dev team or something weird. Unfortunately, I really don't know, but I really felt like I wanted to call attention to this project just because they're, like I said, it's something near and dear to my heart. I'd like to see these guys succeed. I am a little bit more weary just because, obviously, in the past, these projects have failed for Stargate. It's cursed. None of the video games or anything has been able to like get off the ground. Now, with all that being said, I gotta transition over to the pictures here in just a second, so let's start talking about those. So our first picture is of the SG-1 uniform. As you guys can see, it's basically just a retextured Army uniform at this point. The development team has basically said, the person who's working on it has said that he wants to do a complete remodel for the uniform. But as of right now, that's not the case. As of right now, it's just a retextured Army uniform with the patches on there. Still looks pretty good. I mean, you know, that's one of the cool things about Stargate. That's one of the things that it should work well with Arma, is that it's more or less just, at least on the human side, basic military stuff. You know, it's the 90s military. The next picture we have is of the different variations of the MALP. So in the video, you guys saw the one with the little control arm up there, but there's actually different versions of this thing that was in the show. So, from left to right, we see like a cargo carrier version. You know, second from the left is, I can't remember what the device is. I want to say it might have been like a nuke or something, but I can't remember exactly what that was from the show. In the middle, we have just like a plain version, no extras or anything. Next to that, I think that one's like a radar dish or something on it. I can't really tell from here. Uh, Second to right is, of course, the one with the control arm. That's the main one used in the show. And then the final one is actually mounted with a machine gun. So that one's... And all these are basically able to have like a guy stand on the back with them. But they are, remote controlled. So that's all pretty cool. I'm very excited. I've never actually really gotten to use the Melps in the other versions. I was never really big into unmanned vehicles and stuff at that point in time because I really didn't understand like how to hook them up and stuff. But moving on, we've got our first look at a Gould. This is actually what you call a Jaffa, probably. These are the foot soldiers of the Gould. They're basic infantry. I can't tell if this guy's got any like head markings. In the show, all the Jaffa are all tattooed with like the emblem of their master, and then they have like their first officer, what they call the first prime. If you guys are familiar with the show, and they've got that tattoo is instead like molded gold that's been like forced onto their forehead. It's pretty cool, but I can't tell if this has been like retextured for him to have it or not. The uniform looks pretty cool though, and they are working on the headpieces, the helmets for him. In the show, a lot of times just for budget reasons and the fact that it's really big and awkward, these helmets, they really didn't wear them a whole lot. In the movies you saw them and stuff like that, and sometimes you'd see them in the show in certain situations where the guys didn't really have to move a lot. They are working on that somehow. I don't know what their plans are going to be. I don't know if it's going to be something that they try to animate or what they're going to do with it. Hopefully it'll be good though. We'll see. Moving on, we've got more, another shot of more Jaffa and a death glider above them. Really nothing new in this shot. Just more of the same stuff we've already kind of seen to this point in the video. And then going on, we've got our first shot of the big feature of Stargate, the Stargate. If you guys are familiar with the show, you know how this works, but if you aren't, short story is it's a portal to other worlds. Earth has a couple of these. They're hooked up in, military bases. They're like hidden deep around the world, and basically dial up a world you want to go to. It spins around, shoots out what looks like water. You walk through it, and all of a sudden you're on the other side of another world. How this will work in Arma is basically just a teleportation script. So it'll transport you from one map to another. Unfortunately, you won't be able to go from, say Tanoa to Altus or something. But, there's custom maps out, and I don't know if any of them are in Arma 3, where it's basically just a bunch of different biomes. So you might start in, like, woodland, but you can, like, go through the Stargate, and you would go to, like, an Arctic world or a desert world. And that's where they use the Melps in the show is they'd send them through the Stargate to, scout out the world, make sure it's safe. They'd take readings of the atmosphere and all this stuff just to make sure it's safe for humans to go there. Alright guys, that's the end of the video though. Let me know what you guys think about this Stargate project. Personally, I'm very excited for it. Like I said, I am taking it with a grain of salt, however, just based off the fact that these haven't been successful in the past. It's kind of a cursed franchise when it comes to video games. But with that being said, Operation Flashpoint and Arma 2 have seen this added in. It's a really good franchise for Arma to have, so there's a lot of cool stuff they could do with it. Definitely these guys have my support. Either way, it will probably be a while before we really see anything tangible for it or any sort of failure if that happens, unfortunately. But either way, I want to throw my support behind these guys. It's a project I definitely want to see succeed, so I wish them the best of luck. And, if you guys are, developers or something you want to help them contribute, I'm sure that would be much appreciated. So if you guys do want to check out their stuff, go to StargateArma.com. Or you can check them out on the Reddit, which I will link the thing for that in the video here if I remember a couple days here. All right, guys, take it easy. I'll see you around.